Well, friends, my blood is boiling and my heart is broken. Today, we're going to talk about something that is happening crazy in Miami, Florida, and it's happening all over Florida when it comes to recovery after plastic surgery. You do not want to miss this episode if you know someone who's going on a plastic surgery journey, or if you're thinking about going on a plastic surgery journey. This is all I have to say before we get started. Do your research. And I don't mean just you do your research on top of your full-time job, on top of your kids, on top of your life. Hire someone to do it for you who can dedicate hundreds of hours and has already dedicated thousands of hours to making sure that you have the most safe experience possible. Why am I on a rant today? Check this out.
7 Investigates watched the hotel for 2 months. Our camera captured patients being picked up and dropped off, many still in surgical gowns and bathrobes, others with extensive bandages, some with medical drainage bags filled with fluid.
They're doing a lot of stuff. The hotel is booked, like they don't have any space left, and it's probably because most of them are girls coming for plastic surgery.
Labrisha Green came to Miami for a Brazilian butt lift and tummy tuck last summer. The surgical coordinator at her doctor's office told her she had to book her post-surgical care with a specific company at a local hotel, and it wasn't cheap.
$200 per day. They want you to go to that hotel, so yeah, a lot of money.
Money Labrisha knew she had to pay because she would not be able to take care of herself for several days.
I can't do anything but lay on my stomach, like helpless. When you can't like pull your pants up or like wash your body.
Labrisha says despite a promise for 24-hour care, getting help from her caretakers was difficult.
I was asking if she could take my blood pressure or if she had like a thermometer or something, and they just said no. Every time I would ask them, they're like, no, we don't have it.
We found hotels also being used as recovery centers in Broward County. A New Jersey woman sued her plastic surgeon after being diagnosed with life-threatening sepsis and impending multi-system collapse. The lawsuit claims the doctor failed to recognize a serious infection brewing inside her body, even though she had paid the doctor for an upcharge premium package in a Fort Lauderdale hotel.
She thinks this is the best care you could possibly get. She has a 24/7 alleged registered nurse that's sleeping with you, that's taking vitals, that are supposed to be giving the vitals back to the doctor.
Her attorney, Chris Rosamano, says the woman settled her case, but he fears most patients don't understand the risk of these post-operative hotel stays.
It's just a constant turnover and a turnover of different women coming in with open wounds, JP drains. It's a dangerous situation.
So the problem that I have with this is that in Miami, surgery is still popping. I mean, it has been so popular and churning and burning since 2020. It has not died down. And more chop shops are partnering with non-certified recovery specialists who are partnering with non-certified recovery centers, AKA hotels, and more women are being put in this situation. The worst part is most plastic surgery centers don't even have insurance for lawsuits for this reason. If they don't have any insurance for it, then they pretty much can't get sued. And then if you read the information that you sign before you get surgery, this is where you're unprotected. And this is one of the main reasons I created POP. Before we keep going, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this episode for anyone who is on their plastic surgery journey. First, we're going to talk about how to identify these chop shops, because I feel like ladies, you need, and men, gentlemen who may be watching, you need to know what this looks like. You need to know what the risks are, because if you go in blind, then you can be like some of the ladies you saw in that news clip, and you don't want that to be you. If there are no clear credentials of the surgeon, run. If they don't have operational privileges in a hospital, run. This is a clear red flag that they are a chop shop. If the surgeon isn't board certified and it's a cosmetic surgeon, a lot of you ladies are like, oh, but he gives the body. Yeah, he has bodies too. So which one do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? There's too much risk at place. But you also have to be wary of the rotating surgeon clinic, because you'll go in thinking that you're going to see one surgeon, and then you leave actually having surgery by not even another surgeon, but their assistant. Oh, yes. We have heard all of the stories. We have all of the receipts. So you really need to be mindful. That is your tip number one. Number two, high volume. If you are in the waiting room and there are 10 other women with you, that, my dear, is a red flag. Even if they have 10 other women, most reputable surgical centers will actually spread you guys out. They'll invest in a lobby that's big enough where you don't feel like you're on top of each other, because this is a big decision that you're making, and you don't want to be lined up like cattle, like straight up cattle. That is a problem, okay? If it is very busy and it's high volume and it's just like churning and burning, red flag, you need to run. But more importantly, if they're not providing you with resources for proper aftercare, especially if you're traveling into Miami, honey, this is a red flag. This is a chop shop. If they're like, you can come have surgery, but we're not going to help you with anything else. If they're like, you need to upgrade to this premium service so that we can take care of you after, no, thank you. That is a red flag. But how do you know that? You don't know that because it's your first time, or even your second time, or your third time, and you still don't have thousands of hours of experience having these surgeries that you can make educated decisions. And literally, that is why POP was created. I was so sick and tired of seeing daughters and mothers and wives and sisters not go back home. That is a problem. Like, when are we going to get it through our head? Another thing is, this particular lawyer, he was able to get some money, but most of the time that is not the case. The signature on that contract that you signed that also says bye-bye to your deposit, also says bye-bye to any chance of suing them. But why? Why do we even want to get there? We don't need to get to the point where you even need to sue. Forget suing. How about we have a great experience and we live? How about we have a great experience and we don't have these botched tales, or we don't end up on the news for the wrong reason? 3 tips to finding the right surgery center. You really want to make sure that you're dealing with a board certified surgeon who either has a licensed surgery center and you need to ask to see those credentials, or they have operating privileges at the local hospital, which has licenses and certifications. That's tip number 1. Number 2, you need pre and post-op care. It's not just post-op care, and it's not just for 24 hours after. The 24 hours after, it's hard, but day 2, day 3, day 4, those are harder. So you need to have your own caretaker. And then if they are not educated enough to take care of you by themselves, then you need to hire a professional to go with you. This is something that's really big. If they're talking about changing the pricing from what you saw advertising, tip number 3, if they change the price, that is a problem. And you better make sure that you have in writing every cost that is associated with the procedure before you give your deposit, because price tactics and changing them at the last minute, these are the sure signs of a chop shop, but it's also the sure signs that you could be in the situation that these people were in. If they aren't going to be honest about the price, they aren't going to be honest about anything else. If that recovery center is doing things in the hotel that is not associated with the surgeon, I mean, you really need to dig deep, especially in Miami. It is the wild, wild west out there, y'all. So this is why POP created our one-on-one coaching programs. Please check out the link in this caption. I very rarely advertise POP in these videos because I want it to be educational, you know, but check out that link. If you need help finding a surgeon in your budget, in your location that you want to be, whether it's domestic or international. We do work with international, but we have longer guidelines, bigger restrictions, because we want it to be a certain profile. It's only certain people who really are well equipped and have the means to be well equipped to go overseas for surgery. So we are very strict on what we'll recommend to you, because we want you to wake up. We want you to live. We want you to go home to your family. If this is your first time watching Pop, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Laura Alexis. I probably should have said this in the earlier, but I was too busy just really being passionate about you living. Please check out our channel and like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time on Thursday Tips.